I handed it over to your sister. She's the one I favor most, and it's my duty to guarantee her security moving forward," Dad declared, as though it were the most reasonable conclusion imaginable. I remained rooted in place, eyes locked on the banking application. Only 20 minutes before, I'd logged into my Sberbank profile to view the funds. $4.6 million. Earnings I'd labored to accumulate.
Conserved diligently, placed wisely, even while my relatives ridiculed me for acting superior to everyone else. Now the sum had vanished. Relocated. Without warning. And deliberately so. He reclined in the armchair upholstered in leather, resembling a monarch issuing an imperial command, utterly composed. "No need to appear so stunned, Holland. You aren't raising any children. Your sister has a pair. This counts as a household choice." Household choice? My lips parted, then sealed again. Language failed to capture the storm inside me. Fury, treachery, and an icier sensation surpassing them both. At that moment, the doorbell sounded. Color fled from Dad's cheeks. He glanced toward me as if abruptly recalling I was much more than merely the reserved child. I stayed motionless. He rose gradually, warily. Upon opening the door and recognizing the visitor, he murmured, "Oh God. Not you." The individual outside was dressed in a deep blue suit, clutching a slender attaché case. His identification badge caught the glow of the entryway lamp. "Mr. Pierce?" he inquired, steady yet authoritative. "You've received legal notice." My father's fingers shook while accepting the packet. I showed no reaction. I recognized its contents already, since I'd submitted the filing personally. Earlier that same day. He ripped it apart, gaze racing over the text. His lips quivered as he voiced it softly, almost inaudibly. "Urgent court order. Property hold. Awaiting review. Illegal movement of funds." He lifted his eyes to mine, resembling a youngster discovered raiding the treat jar. "You," he started, but I raised my palm. "Stop. No further speech." For years I'd attempted discussion with him. When he barred me from opportunities, I kept quiet. When he derided my independent living space, I endured it. Yet emptying my savings to benefit my sister? That breached a boundary wealth could no longer obscure. Now the initiative belonged to me. "May she savor the tomorrow you purchased," I uttered softly. "Yours, however, has become remarkably difficult." He collapsed heavily into the seat, the order quivering between his fingers. That marked merely the start. Come morning, my father's financial holdings sat sealed. The banking oversight specialist verified the urgent alert I'd activated. He hadn't anticipated such a step. I had. Each paper he falsified? Secured in duplicate. Each deduction executed in my identity? Followed and dated precisely. Over years I'd studied the mechanics of influence discreetly, evening classes in jurisprudence, weekend seminars on capital management, my private doctorate in measured retribution while they scoffed. My sister rang precisely at 8:13 a.m. "What have you caused?" "Dad is spiraling." The residence faces scrutiny. His company stands immobilized. "And he claims you're preparing to litigate against us?" I held back my reply initially. Allowed her to continue. "Weep. Fabricate. You fail to grasp it, whole." He aimed only to shield me. "We had no idea those funds belonged to you," she insisted. "He believed you lacked concern for kin." "Kin. That term once more." At last I answered. "Concern for kin exists in me. Precisely why you receive 7 days to restore it all. Down to the final penny. And if refusal occurs?" She retorted sharply. A faint smile crossed my face. "Then the pretense of restraint ends. The tribunal views the complete record." I disconnected. Their endorsement no longer mattered. I possessed a far superior weapon. Proof. Later that day I entered my father's workplace without prior notice. The front desk staff appeared astonished, as though encountering a specter. "Is he expecting you?" she breathed. "No," I stated, and refrained from alerting him. I swung wide the translucent partition. He sat engaged in conversation, issuing commands sharply, complexion flushed with urgency. The instant he spotted me, he stiffened. "Holland, remain seated," I instructed, placing a substantial manila packet atop his workspace. "Contained within?" "Comprehensive records. Concerning the trust one held, the very one he emptied, accompanied by official confirmation that his trustee status ended 24 months prior. Authority eluded him entirely. Thus his actions transcended disloyalty. They constituted deceit. This ceases to remain a domestic matter, I informed him. It escalates to national jurisdiction. His teeth ground together. "You lack the will. Already executed." Pallor overtook his features. "This outcome I never sought," I proceeded, steadier than anticipated. "Yet you shattered an element beyond your repair capacity. And unlike before, the conclusion escapes your control." Silence gripped him. Utterly. I departed. While descending in the lift, his voice pursued me not in paternal tone, but as someone newly terrified by his own offspring. Evening brought word of the restriction to the governing council. Dominion Equity, his cherished accomplishment, now faced prompt examination. Incoming contacts multiplied, first his legal counsel, next his financial advisor, followed by an acquaintance who'd once dismissed me as negligible during holiday gatherings. They all sought dialogue now, yet I ignored them. Rather, I traveled to the modest district where I'd acquired my initial residence, the place he scorned visiting afterward. Deemed insufficiently grand for his standards. Far too lowly for his pride. I lingered before my entryway, observing delicate flakes dust the vacant roadway, as my device vibrated. A text arrived from my sister. "We never intended such escalation. I beg you. Halt this. I'll return it." Yet the issue extended beyond currency. It concerned each occasion. They chuckled as I remained mute. Each toast raised to her achievements using earnings I generated. Each reminder of my inferiority despite my role sustaining the structure. I contemplated her plea, then composed merely 2 terms. Irreversible. And pressed transmit. Morning arrived. I entered the office of our household attorney unaccompanied. He glanced upward from a hefty dossier marked Pierce Household Holdings. "You're ahead of schedule," he noted. "Waiting time has expired," I responded. He motioned toward the seat opposite, but I declined. In its place, I deposited a certified declaration upon the surface, prepared alongside my counsel detailing violation of trust obligations, wrongful appropriation, plus every dated transaction. Preparation had spanned months. The attorney scanned swiftly, then set aside his spectacles. "You comprehend this risks unraveling the complete holdings?" "Understood," I answered softly. And prepared regardless. Beyond the door, my sister's tone resounded through the corridor. Panic laced every syllable. Spotting me, she hurried closer. "Holland, I implore you. Abandon this path. It's father. Illness grips him. An error occurred." I held firm. He exercised volition. "As did you. You're dismantling our world." I inclined my head. At times the base requires destruction when constructed upon falsehoods. She attempted tears, attempted vulnerability, yet I refused to yield this once. Behind stood our father, posture slumped, mouth unsteady. For the initial occasion in memory, speech deserted him. Week's close brought approval of the urgent directive. The $4.6 million remained secured. The lineage holdings paused during inquiry. Court decree formally nullified my father's authorization to act. Celebration evaded me. Smiles stayed absent. I simply rested in my serene dwelling, cradling warm tea, gazing at descending snow beyond the pane mirroring that earlier evening on my stoop. His dominion arose from control, from allegiance never genuinely deserved. He assumed intimidation would preserve my muteness. Yet rage found no employment. Documentation served instead. Restraint served instead. Truth served instead. Another vibration arrived. This instance from my aunt, the sole relative who'd ever regarded me with genuine value. Pride fills me for you, her note stated. Survival alone wasn't your feat you shattered there. Entire facade. I lingered upon those lines extensively. Then, at last, released breath. Secrets ended. Frigid gatherings where I feigned indifference to their harshness ceased. One-sided generosity halted. They preferred my obscurity. Instead, I claimed their greatest dread, my articulation. Through it, I revised every expectation they'd imposed. 7 days onward, I stepped into the identical venue where they'd hosted my sister's commencement celebration, the event excluding me for supposedly achieving nothing noteworthy. This occasion differed. No longer the overlooked offspring. Keynote orator at a female empowerment symposium. Ascending the platform, I observed mother positioned far rearward, ashen and unsteady. Father absent from her side. Legal scrutiny confined him, released conditionally, deprived of professional standing. My sister remained unseen. My address avoided vengeance. It centered on muteness, how society trains girls toward quietude, harmony preservation, diminution, erasure, and how certain daughters internalize concealment as existence. I described my refusal to contract further. Upon conclusion, the assembly rose uniformly. Yet applause drew no glance. My eyes fixed upon Mother, the individual who'd once proclaimed me unsuited for greatness. I witnessed her tears. I descended from view, tranquil, collected, complete. In that instant comprehension arrived, breakage never occurred. They forged the individual capable of this.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a twist. Stay tuned to Reddit Tales Times for your daily dose of drama, laughs, and unbelievable stories.